You know, in high school, I was pretty active, played baseball in high school, and then kind of go through a little bit of a lull once you get married and have kids. About 10 years ago, I took up cycling, and I enjoy biking with a group of guys. But, you know, active, but not terribly active in terms of outside activities. It's kind of an interesting story. I had a friend of mine from New York City that I was spending some time with, and he knew I was cycling, and he really encouraged me to look into CrossFit. And when I got home from spending some time with him, I Googled Grand Rapids CrossFit, and 8th Day was the first hit. And so I drove by here and I walked in, and Joe was here. Started talking to Joe, asked him what CrossFit was, if it was right for me. He gave me kind of a 50-cent tour of the place. I went through my elements class, and I've been coming here ever since then. When I first joined 8th Day, I was coming 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m., pretty regularly. However, recently I've kind of upped it to 4 days a week. And again, 7 o'clock is the one I typically come to, although sometimes I come at lunch, but for the most part early in the morning. You know, the 7 o'clock class is a great class. It's the 3 Johns, the 3 Matts, and Tim. And we have a great time together. Again, as I said, we encourage each other, we push each other, we try to reach new PRs. It's just a fun group of guys. And an occasional gal. We don't have too many women in that class, but when they do show up, they're certainly a part of it as well. I am a registered investment advisor with New York Life and NyLife Securities. I've been with them for 31 years. That's the long answer. The short answer is I'm really kind of a financial coach. So similar to what the coaches do here physically, I try to help people financially in the same area, putting together strategies, disciplines to get where they want to get financially. I have been blessed with a wonderful wife, Jane, for 32 years. She's my best friend. We just have a wonderful marriage. We have 3 married kids. My son Joel is 31. I have a daughter 28 and a son that's 23. We have 4 grandchildren, and I like to stay in shape because with the grandkids I want to stay healthy and be active with them. They're a great part of our life. I took up cycling again about 9-10 years ago. A group of guys that again is really part of who I am. We enjoy cycling. I try to log between 3,000 and 4,000 miles a year on the bike. So CrossFit helps in that training. We also have a condominium in South Carolina that my wife and I like to go to a few times a year. Spend some time down there golfing, biking, walking the beach, just enjoying some time away down there. You know, I really love all the workouts. They all have a special place. They're all enjoyable to some degree, but this past year I committed to the 12 Days of Christmas. And that's a pretty extensive workout, pretty long workout. Saturday mornings, a lot of energy here, a lot of excitement in the room. And I was able to do that and complete it, and I really enjoyed that one this year. That was fun. You know, music is really what gets me my blood flowing at 7 o'clock in the morning when it's 5 degrees outside. I have to work on Matt a little bit. He has to expand his musical taste, I think. Ryan is coming along. Michael has a lot of abilities. I think there's a lot of untapped possibility with Michael at this point. But Matt is really the project right now to get him up to speed when it comes to music. Anything that's within the last 5 years probably will not be acceptable. Anything that's like probably 15 to 30 years prior is going to be something that I'll probably get a PR on because it will get my blood flowing. I really enjoy the 7 o'clock class. We have a good group of guys there. We have great coaches. We have a lot of fun together, and we can push each other. And although I'm probably not to the level of some of those guys in that morning, they encourage me, they challenge me, and it's just fun to come every morning and get a part of that. I enjoy eating, which is very evident. I love it. We have become more cognizant, my wife and I, about what we're eating. We're trying to cut down on portion size. I think that was probably as much of a problem as anything with me, is portion size. I love my craft beer. I try to scale that back a little bit. I'm trying to keep that down to the weekends now. But for the most part, we're more aware of what we're eating than maybe a year or 2 ago. And I think that's a start in the right direction. I really feel that as I get older, the CrossFit is helping to strengthen the different components. My knees, I used to have a lot of challenges with my knees, but between both the biking and the CrossFit, they've gotten a lot stronger. I don't have near the pain that I did, say 10 years ago, which is great. I just feel overall I'm stronger. I feel feel like I can do more things without being in a lot of pain the next day. I mentioned to Joe a long time ago, or a year or so ago, that I used to put a dock in the water every spring, and 2 days afterwards I'd be sore. Now I'm able to move more weight, lift more weight, and just kind of practical things. And I attribute a lot of that to CrossFit. It's interesting, when I first started I hated the barbell. I despised it. Whenever there was a workout that included a barbell, I would kind of cringe. Now that's kind of become my favorite. I enjoy the deadlifts because I cycle. My legs are fairly strong. Upper body's a little weaker, but I really enjoy anything that works with a barbell. Just start showing up. I remember when I first started, my first couple of months, there were days when I would leave the driveway and wonder, what am I doing there? But as time goes on, you'll get to develop some friendships. You get to develop your own strength and your own program. And again, I love it. It's just part of what my week is getting those CrossFit movements and getting those CrossFit classes in each week. I love it, and I would encourage you to just try it and see if it isn't right for you. I think like any good organization, it starts from the top. And I think Joe has really developed something here that's unique. I haven't gone to other CrossFit gyms, so I'm not speaking on their behalf, but I do think Joe has worked very, very hard to stay current, to stay up to date with both his equipment, his workouts, and quite frankly, his trainers are top drawer. They take a personal interest in you. They're not measuring you against other athletes, they're measuring you against you. And that's something I really have grown to appreciate, that coaches know what my abilities are, they know where my strengths are, they know where some of my weaknesses are, and they will sort of tailor a workout to what I can do. And that's something that I appreciate. So I don't leave here hurting, I leave here stronger. I moved to Grand Rapids when I was in high school in 1982. And so really Grand Rapids has kind of been home for me for the last 35 years. I love Grand Rapids, I consider it home. I see 8th Day Gym as sort of a smaller component of Grand Rapids. It's got a family atmosphere to it. It's a community both here at 8th Day, but also the community at large. When we have friends in from other areas, they just comment on how welcoming and how friendly the Grand Rapids community is.